Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Do Your Parents Want to Stay, our weekly educational series designed to educate the community and healthcare professionals and family caregivers about everything elder care. This is where you come for any question that has to do with care, with well-being, what to do with your loved one, how to help the doctor help you, how to stay well. Most especially when family members are struggling with the conversation of, is it time to go to assisted living or is it time to stay home? Where should you get care? When is the right time to move? That's the reason we named this session, Do Your Parents Want to Stay? Because all those things that I just mentioned, they all revolve around either staying home or moving somewhere else to get care. All right. So today with me is Nurse Galina. Hello, Galina.
Hi, Stella. Thank you for
Jennifer
having
is
me.
our host. Yes. So over here at PennDYNAMIC, we are passionate about care. So I want to share with you all the topics that we're going to be talking about in the upcoming month. So what we'll do is every month we will concentrate on one area of importance. We will invite experts to come. We will invite family members to share their stories. We'll provide insights and recommendations and send them out. So let me run down the list before I tell you what we're going to talk about today. So this month of December, we're going to concentrate on after hospital and after rehabilitation. That's a big thing for December because many older adults, they get sicker in the wintertime. All right. In January, we're going to talk about reducing family stress. And then in February, we're going to talk about managing chronic symptoms at home. That is a big one. And then in March, we're going to talk about accelerating recovery and enhancing life for the complex and chronically ill older adult. In April, we're going to reduce the cost, talk about how do you reduce the cost for home care? How do you reduce the cost for assisted living? How do you reduce the cost of caregiving? And then how do you increase quality of life and well-being while reducing stress for the family? There's a little bit of a formula there because there's a relationship between the level of care and the cost of care. So we're going to talk about that. So if you have cost of care that is way up there, we want to talk with you. In the month of May, we're going to talk about how to delay the need for assisted living, for nursing home, for memory care, right? What are the things you need to do to either avoid or delay the need for it? Sometimes you have to be there, but if you choose to stay wherever you want to stay, how do you delay that need? So that's going to be our main topics coming up for the next few months. Yes. So if you are an expert in any of these areas, we are inviting you to join us. Come help us educate the community because good information is going to help families make great decisions so that care can be gratifying, care can be life enriching, older adults can live well. We love to say we help older adults to live the fullest life possible, regardless of any life limiting conditions. So whatever the doctor has written on the medical charts, it has nothing to do with anything. We help and empower patients to thrive. Yes, we are the agency that would help people get off of hospice or get discharged from hospice because we provide personalized, life-enriching care. All right, so I want us to talk today a little bit about hospital, and after rehabilitation. So there's a little secret. Here goes. For every day that you put an older adult in a bed in the hospital, they lose 3 to 7 days of functioning based on their current medical situation. So for every 1 day they're in the hospital bed or rehabilitation bed, they lose functioning. There's a connection between the amount of physical mobility someone has, their quality of life, their cost of care, and the stress for the family. It's almost all of these things are stringed together. So when a loved one gets admitted to the hospital, what you want to do is become the most proactive family. You have to remember multiple things that are going to help your loved one get better. Because at the hospital, so much is happening. Lights are going off, beeping machines, drips are going over here, lights go on and off. There is confusion, there is dehydration, there are medical things going on. So when you have that loved one that's at the hospital, your goal is to help them get out of there faster. Because the sooner they get out of the hospital, the quicker they can regain their health. All right. Now remember that 3 days. If the person has, for example, other comorbidity, then now it's about 5 days. For every 1 day they lay in the bed, they've lost 5 days of strength. If they have a neurodegenerative condition, maybe Parkinson's, ALS, MS, Huntington's disease, if they have a movement disorder, it takes them about 7 days to, 7 days to get their strength back from being in the hospital for 1 day. So helping them get out of the hospital fast is your number one goal. Because if they can get out of the hospital quicker, they get better faster. Cost of care goes down, stress goes down, quality of life goes up, the person lives well. Okay, so that's the secret. The hospital says, hello family, we need to admit. I want you to remember our voices say, help them get out of there quickly. Same thing for rehabilitation. So here's what happens in rehab. So some of you know that I'm an elder care consultant, and I help families find the right kind of care. This is what I do at PennDYNAMIC, and the same thing at Caregiver Relief Network. So I am sitting in a rehabilitation center because I came to visit a very amazing lady who was 92 at the time. And her family did say that when she was 80 years old, she had fallen and she fractured her hip. And it took her 1 year to get better. So now she had fallen, she fractured the opposite hip and the shoulder. And the family's worry was, if it took her a year to get better when she was 80, now she's 92, how is she going to get better quick? How is she not going to deteriorate? So they sent me in so that I can observe and I can give them recommendations. Aha! So I go to rehab and I'm sitting there to watch because I wanted to see her current level of functioning so that when we take her home, because we wanted to speed her recovery, encourage the family that if she is not making the progress according to the medical and the science schedule, then we should take her home and enhance that to speed up her recovery. Aha, that's the reason we're talking about this accelerating recovery. So I'm sitting in rehab and I'm watching her. The therapist says to her, okay, here, I want you to do these leg raises. And I want you to do 10. So the therapist is sitting in front of her and the therapist says, all right, let's go. 1. So she did 1, 2. The therapist said, okay, great. You're doing wonderful. So I want you to do 10. The therapist then moved to the next patient to get the next patient set up. So guess what she did? She just stopped and she started watching. The person to her right had stopped the exercises that the therapist had said, and she was watching too. Okay, now, so I just want you to think about this for a minute. Therapy is supposed to help them get better. They're supposed to be able to do about 1 to 1.5 hours of therapy in a day when they're in rehab. So according to the documentation, she got to therapy at 10 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, she should be going back to her room, right? She should have had 1 hour of therapy. But no, she didn't, because she walked with the therapist for just a little bit, and then she was then just doing people watching. This is the reason she wasn't getting better, right? She was not getting better according to what the family members had said. So what to do? So this is what we did. We took her home and we provided her the care according to what science says she's supposed to have gotten. Now remember the hip that took her 1 year to get better? Now she's 92. She fractured the opposite hip and a shoulder. And we could not wait for the doctor and the daughters to come and to see how well she had done within 6 weeks. So in 6 weeks, we got her back walking and functioning. That is the power of personalized care. And that is what we do here. So, yes. And if I wish I had a picture, the daughter was sobbing because she could not believe that her mom was doing so well. And the mom, because she was improving, and she leaned into her care because she could feel better. She could see that the care was helping her. She could see that her own participation was showing improvement. Yes. So she could not wait. Her daughter lived out of state. And when the daughter came, she says, "Oh, we have a surprise for you tomorrow." Because we had walked with her, we told her, "Don't tell your daughter. We're going to surprise your daughter because your daughter does not know that you can walk." Right? We had taken her to the doctor the Saturday before, the Friday before, and the doctor was surprised. Like, "My gosh, how did you guys do this?" And our answer to him is, "We just followed the science. That's all we did." And that's not a possible thing to have sometimes in a rehabilitation unit because they're not designed for that, right? But that's the power of personalization. So come Saturday, I go in to visit her, and she and I had made this plan, and we say, "Okay, after lunch, I'm going to come over. I want to say hello to your daughter, and I can't wait for you to show your daughter." So lunch was done, and we said, "Hi, do you want to come to the living room with us?" And the daughter's like, "Okay." So she came to the living room, and I said, "All right, you stand over there." So I put her in the wheelchair. We went to the end of the room, and I said, "Okay, time to stand." And the daughter's like, "Wait, she's not allowed up." I said, "Yes, she is." And I showed her the thing that says up and leap from the doctor, meaning she can do whatever exercise she wants. And she got on the walker and she walked. The daughter was sobbing. She's like, "Oh, thank you so much. You got me my mother back." So that's the gratifying thing. But I always like to tell these stories to families who, when they are in rehab, they think, "Oh, my mom can't walk anymore. Therapy says she's plateaued. Maybe I'll just put her in the nursing home now." And what I'm saying is, when you have someone who needs good care, what makes the difference is personalization. If you personalize the care and you take into consideration the physical health, the emotional health, the psychosocial well-being, you improve the environment, the person is going to get better. So at PennDYNAMIC, we have a HEAL modality that we use. The H, yes, stands for hydration and nutrition. The E stands for exercise, emotion, and environment. So we take all of this into consideration. The A is for activities of daily living. So we incorporate all of these areas of care are looked in very detailedly. And then the L is for listening with care and compassion. So we build these very personalized care and we get great results. Yes. So yes, Karina, we have all these great stories. So what I want to say is, if somebody is in rehabilitation and they are not thriving, we can help. If somebody is going home and they have quote plateaued, we can help, because what it is all the people need is personalization. Yes,
that's true.
So yeah, so Galina, I know that when you served as a social worker in the nursing home, you probably discharged a bunch of people on going home who had either quote plateaued or didn't want to move to the nursing home side. Yes.
Yeah.
What was your experience with that?
That's true. There's a lot of families because I was a discharge planner, so that's all I did. And so I've met a lot of families where they were so confused. They were scared. They didn't know what to do. They know mom never wanted to go to a nursing home. So that's the promise they want to keep. But then at the same time, the kids have to work. Right. So now what happens, right? And we know Medicare gives you barely nothing, right? And so then it's like, well, private pay, okay, but then money becomes, right, sometimes a concern. So it's a lot of things to think about. So I definitely think educating even family members for their elderly parents is good. We don't have to wait till it's like, oh, now she's in rehab or a hospital. We have to talk about premature. We know we're all going to get older. We're not getting any younger. So I don't know why people brush that topic off a lot of times. And they don't want to face it, maybe. They don't want to
Right.
think of it like, oh my God, am I getting old already? Is this something I want to talk to my kids about? But it's real. And so we do have to talk about it. And the more we talk about it, the better choices we'll make. And we can honor your wish of staying home and not having to go to a nursing home, because that's not
Right.
a place anybody wants to be in. Sorry, that's not a place.
Well, I had somebody who said to me one time, he says, when I think about a nursing home, I think about it like a human warehouse. And I have said this to many families before. In the nursing home, you have well-meaning people. You have compassionate nurses. You have great physical therapists. But the problem is that between the workload,
Yes.
right?
Right.
And then sometimes the declining condition of the patient is hard for them to do personalization. It's not designed for personalized care.
It's not.
It's not. And so, right. So, you know, in all fairness, a nursing home is not designed for and rehabilitation is not designed for personalized care. The only way to get personalized care is to have care come to you wherever you are calling home. For some people, home is their private residence they've lived all their life. For
Right.
some people, home is their apartment. For some people, home is the daughter-in-law, mother-in-law suite that, you know, the mother-in-law, father-in-law suite at the daughter's house. For some people, home is an apartment, a condo, wherever home is where you would get personalized care. And for some people, home is assisted living, right? So that's the only way to get personalized care is to have the care come to wherever you call home, and we will bring the care there for you. Yeah. All right.
That's
Jennifer, we thank you for hanging out with us today, for hosting us. And I am hoping that everybody had a great Thanksgiving weekend. We are looking forward to a beautiful Christmas season, and we are hoping that you stay as well as possible. And for anything you need, that you can reach us. Yes? Okay. Jennifer, which phone number should any family or professionals call if they need our services?
Yes, you can contact us at 610-467-7827. I'm going to take that again. 610-467-7827, extension 3. Then
That's right.
you can also check us out at www.dynamiccareathome.com.
Very good. We thank you. Galina, thank you for being with us, and we shall see you soon.
Thank you all.
All right. Goodbye.